Mark, many happy returns for the new season. The excitement and hope and expectation all starts again. Are you ready for it?
For the excitement,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. We hopefully we can create that excitement and keep building on it. So, pre-season's gone pretty well. We've added some good players. Hopefully, we've got more to come. The players have acquitted themselves well. There's been a lot of change. We've spoken about that in terms of how we set up. Obviously, we're speaking on a Thursday, not a Friday anymore. So we're changing quite a bit, as much as we can, that we think that are going to impact us in a positive way.
Was it important to get some new faces in as quickly as possible so you can have that time over the summer to work with them and then to be integrated to the building, to their teammates?
You always want them in. You want everybody in quickly, because then you can really integrate them during a pre-season. But that's not always possible, and they've always got to be the right ones. I think we've got some really good players in, and they're all at different stages. But I think the quality has certainly improved. But we spoke about the team behind the team and how that's changed, and the feel around the place is different and good and positive, and going into a new season, everybody's got the hopes and expectations, and there's 2 more places to aim for to get into a playoff, albeit different format. Top 2 is always the holy grail, and we've got to try and bridge a gap, to try and attack that. Now, last season, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, had we had everybody fit, and there's all ifs and buts, we'd have been there or thereabouts. But I even said about just having Victor Johansson fit for the whole season you end up with 10 or 12 more points statistically. So if that happens, you're round about 67, 68 points, which is knocking on the door. So just having that availability, it doesn't always work out like that, because of the amount of injuries and to the players that we had, the personnel that we had that were out for a long time, and this is going over old ground. So we're trying to mitigate against all of those things, because last season was a major disappointment to everybody.
You've still got a bit of time for the transfer window to do some business. How hopeful are you? I mean, or active, should I say, are you of getting some new faces in before it shuts?
Yeah, I think we're working towards that. We know we need some reinforcements, but also the quality that you always try and do that, and try and bring in more quality that are going to stand you in good stead. And you've also got to be aware of what other teams are in the division and what other teams have in their squads, to be able to compete with that. Doesn't always follow, because it's football, sport. But we're in a really decent place. I think pre-season's been good, and that's what it's for. You're trying to build that understanding and that way of working, and getting everybody to a point where they can compete. And this season, hopefully, we will get better and stronger as the season progresses.
And is there a possibility that players within the squad may also move out? Is that likely, do you think? Possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we've got a big number at the moment, but 100% there'll be outgoings as well as incomings.
You mentioned at the fans forum when you met the supporters this week, and you said it there as well about there's a different feel. Is that everything? Because we're sitting here in a new press room. The other side of the training ground's been completed now. That was going on through the season. Just to have all that as well almost completed, does all that help with the focus?
Well, that settles. I mean, this building now is for us to get through to the other building. So for us, we don't see what's going on here, but there's a lot of good work going on. This is being refurbed for everybody that lives and works in here. So technology is being put into them that is incredible. It just helps you, with your day-to-day prep. But it does feel different. It is different, and whilst we've got the infrastructure. You're talking about the buildings. It's the people that populate it, that make it work and bring it to life. That's exciting. It's always exciting. You're working with elite people and people that are aspiring to be elite people in this building, and some really, really top operators. So it's what's not to like? It's a fantastic place to come and work, and we say that all the time. What's got to be matched is we've got to have a really good season, a really concerted season in terms of results, and try and maintain that confidence, that belief, and then gather momentum as you go. So, but everybody's in the same boat at this stage of the season. Everybody wants the same thing, and there's 24 teams in the division that will be aspiring to be in that top 8. So it's going to be a really, really good season, I think.
Does that make it? You've been a Championship manager for a while, and you've seen it. Does the extra 2 places in the playoffs? Does it make it probably the hardest Championship season you might have come across yet?
On
Competitive.
When you're looking at it, when you're looking at the league and the teams that are in the division, it looks really competitive. But that isn't any different. Every game's competitive, and I anticipate it being a tough season, and to try and gain points and try and win games is, it's a challenge. That's what you're there for. The harder the challenge, the better. I think you've got to try and overcome things, and you've got to try and get to levels that you'd need to be at. And I think if the Championship is really, really strong, for those teams that eventually go up, it should stand them in better stead, because the gap between the Championship and the Premier League has been so wide for so long. So hopefully we can keep pushing and keep improving the division.
A few days away from the start of the League Cup, and then obviously the Championship season starts the week after. Is it fair to say in modern football now, does a manager know his best 11, or is it a squad game now? Do you have a best 11 in mind?
We have an 11 in mind, and but it isn't set in stone, and it is a squad game. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you talk about things, and what we want from players nowadays, as managers, as coaches. The demands on those players are high, and they're all human beings, and they only have so much energy in them. So you're looking at energy, you're looking at that, and people being ready, and people leaving their egos at the door, because everybody wants to play. Everybody talks about, well, I'm a starter, but you've got what we call now finishers rather than substitutes, and because of the demands, you need the squad, and everybody's equally important. So, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for people to knuckle down and give the best, rather than sort of look around. I'm not starting, so I'm going to look around and see what else is there for me. And that generally doesn't bode well for individuals throughout a career. At some point you have to really knuckle down and I'm going to show them. I'm going to get into the team, and if you've got that mindset, then you will be coveted, not just at the club you're representing, but others as well.
Of course, you'll be looking for that this weekend. A lot of people might have thought, well, it's a slower start to the season with it being the League Cup first, but I'm pretty sure Oldham won't think like that, will they? They'll be seeing this as a great opportunity. They'll come with the intensity, and the team's got to be on it on Saturday.
100%. And they want to press. They want to press high. They want to go and try and win the ball high up the field. They're brave. They've been brave in pre-season. Been aggressive, as you'd expect, with Mickey Mellon, Gary Brabin. At Oldham, they've got some good players in the team, and they've had a really good result at the weekend. Got a mixed bag of results, but some of the performances have been pretty good. So, if you do that and you do the basics right and you play to the best of your ability, you should come out on top. But it's mindsets, it's human beings you're dealing with. You've got to make sure that you're right, bang on it, and the season starting the week afterwards. It is different, but it's good, because you're preparing not only to win a game, to gain momentum, to try and get in a starting 11 for the following week. But having said what we've just spoken about there, it's not just about that, it's about everybody, and everybody being ready and being fit and being available and being at the top of the game and ready to go in, because they will be used then.
without showing all your cards, what you've kind of worked on and what you've been demanding from the players over the last few weeks of the summer, what is it you're wanting to see follow through from that into that first game at the weekend?
Well, we've obviously not done we've not done a tenth of the work really that we need to do, because it's a season's work. You just start that and give them some basics and principles and what we demand from them in terms of habits, and that is the thing. Those are the things that we'll be looking to drill into them and make sure that becomes part of the DNA of not just the team but the football club.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Pete.
You're not quite an Oldham lad, are you? Did you grow up in Chadderton?
I did. Yeah, you've done your homework, haven't you? Is that Chat GPT that?
Yeah, I've got it all linked up. Did you ever have a chance to play for Oldham, or did you follow them at all when you were growing up?
I followed them because they were the local team, and I think they used to give free tickets away to the school, but never went. I was a United fan, so I went there, but it was on my doorstep, and I played for a Sunday team called Boundary Park Juniors, so it was closely affiliated there. We played a bit away from there, a bit of a distance away from there, but the growing up in Oldham was good. There used to be a running track right outside Boundary Park called Westwood Park that we used to go to and attend, and used to go running there, doing a bit of pre-season training, but also we did train there at times with the Sunday League team. So there's a area outside called Clayton Playing Fields, which I believe is still there now. We used to train on there. So I mean, I used to go to school, North Chatterton Comprehensive School, until I went to Lilleshall at 14, and I went back there and then left when I went to Norwich in 1992. So and I've not been back really since then.
They've had their troubles over the last few years, but they seem like a club on the up. In fact, you're sending a player there on loan this season, so you must think highly of their manager and what they're going to do.
I think they have an identity. I think obviously Mickey's done really well. You know, Tranmere a few years ago, he got a promotion back to back and did really well there, and then he went up to Scotland, up to Dundee United, I think. Yeah, Dundee United, and he was there, came back down again, and then ended up at Oldham and got them promoted again back into league, which is no easy task. And they look like the building. They look like they look like they've got some good players in there that are capable of managing and handling physical, but also they've got some good players in there. And obviously Favour's gone there to play some minutes. I saw Mickey at the managers meeting up at the EFL the other week, and he was excited about taking him, and assured me that he'd play games, and that's fantastic. So down to Favour, and I'm sure they'll like him. I think Favour came back this summer and he looks ready. He looks ready to play. I think the spell at Leyton Orient had done him a world of good. The injury obviously curtailed that, but I think that was good, working with Richie Wellens there, and that stands him in good stead for this season, hopefully, and he'll have a really good season.
Not all my questions are about your childhood, but did you mention the other night that you know Mark Sartori for a long time? I've known Mark, but not known him. I've known of him. I played in that team at Boundary Park Juniors with his cousin Peter Sivori. They go back a long way. That's back down to teenage years. And you said that it's a really impressive department that you're building there. That those CVs for Matt and Mark and Damien, they show the standard, I guess, that has been set this summer and the expectations that come with it.
100%. I think that the players the players love it. I think that they've you watch them working. They're doing everything they possibly can. Standards are driven by the staff. Eventually, that'll be taken by the the players once they're into that rhythm and that routine, and that can only be a good thing. So it's good, and the feel, that's why the feel of the place has changed. You're in a magnificent building, you're in a magnificent training ground, and everybody's working really hard to ensure that we're in the best place possible for this season.
I know you're saying you've got transfer business still to do, but 3 signings already in midfield. That department in itself has already had a quite big overhaul, which I think you were quite keen to do going into the summer. You must be really pleased with bringing those 3 in. I
think they'll get better as well. I think obviously with 3 coming in, it changes the department fundamentally. So, and there's been sort of disrupted time for obviously Ethan. Svante was out for a little while prior to coming, but he's worked really hard, and he'll get better and better over time. And with Jibril, he is still, he's somebody who can be really, really effective, but has got to work. He's got to really work hard to get to the level that he can get to, because he could be anything. As a physical specimen, he's a real good athlete. Getting him to use that, and for him to be able to reach his potential with us, it's going to take a bit of time, but he will work towards that goal.
What it seems like with the rule change with the finances this summer is that you can really make sure that you bring quality when you go to the transfer market. There's no point bringing in just fillers. You've got a chance this summer to really make a difference in who you recruit. Got to get that right in the next few weeks.
Yeah, you've got to aspire to bring in players that are going to really challenge the existing players, the existing group, and wherever you can, get real top quality in. So, that's where we'll aim for. And again, over time, things will improve. So. It's good. It's exciting. It's really interesting. So, you look at what other teams are doing, because it's just natural. And the clubs that are in the division, it looks really competitive this season. So, we've spoken about that with Matt earlier on. But I think we've got a really exciting season to look forward to. Really challenging, but really exciting.
Thanks very much. Best of luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Mark, given the changes that have happened backroom and with new players, how much better prepared do you feel the squad is for this season?
I don't think it's about being better prepared, because we were prepared as we could be last season. I think with the work, it's a work in progress, and we've got to stress that it's not a magic pill. It's a way of working that is still the same. It's not just like, bang, there you go, and you're top level straight away. You're working to a plan, and that is that's interesting in itself. That's challenging in itself, because there's a change in what we do, and what our meetings are in a morning have changed, because that is now there's intricate detail in that. That's challenging for the coaches as well, because you've got to get everything right, and there's bits and pieces involved with that demand. The organisation has to be spot on, and is, but it's a really good way of working, and I think you can see that in the players and the way that they are, because they know, you can feel that quality, and the information that they're being given is first class as well. So there's a bit of I say a real bit of optimism. You can feel that. You can feel the change within the building, without a doubt. It's moved direction considerably.
Hopefully you can ride on that. But how do you feel about playing a cup game before the season starts? Some people say it's devalued the competition, but I don't think it has. Do you?
No, I don't think it has at all. You play it, and it's played at a weekend where your pre-season games would have taken place. So it doesn't replace that. It becomes a competitive fixture a week early, and that can only stand you in good stead. And the fact that you're playing against whoever you're playing against, whoever you're drawn against. We play against Oldham, obviously, but whoever you're playing against, it's a real competitive fixture, getting ready to go into a season, but also to qualify for a next round of a cup competition. They do it in Scotland all the time, and that stands them in good stead for you play cup, and the league starts, and then you've got that, you're into that run. So I think it's a really interesting start to it, but a good one nonetheless. And the fact is that the clubs vote on that. It's not just, there you go, the clubs vote on it. So it's right, okay, we'll play the game before the season starts. I think it should entice people, and I think rather than being a Tuesday night, I think there's going to be more interest. I think we'll get more people, and that'll be a really good way of getting ready to play against Swansea the weekend after.
Everybody talks about how generous John Coates is, and again, he mentioned at the fans forum that he'd put his hand in his own pocket. In the past, you've probably had to look at trying to make a Ferrari out of motorcycle bits. It's not quite as difficult now, is it? Although it is difficult, you must be very pleased.
I'm grateful for whatever we can do, and to have John Coates as the owner chairman of the football club we're really privileged, and again really lucky. So I think that everybody works really hard. Everybody everybody expects us to work really hard, but we do work really hard. But we're not stupid. We know it hasn't been good enough for a long time now, and we know we've got to improve that. We've got to see significant improvement this season, and that's one of the things that John Coates demands and has demanded. And you heard him say at the fans forum the other day, we have to be challenging to try and get into that top 8 this season. So let's have a go.
Do you feel that puts extra pressure on you, or are you just used to the pressure?
Well, those are the demands. If you don't want pressure, retire. So I think that's part of the job. But the job, it doesn't change, because those are the demands. You want to finish top 2. I want to finish top 2 all the time. And if I ever feel differently than that, then I will walk away from it and I'll do something else or nothing. And I'm not there. I'm not anywhere near that. So the pressure I put on myself is greater than any pressure that I feel externally.
And my last question is, you've talked about the unity inside the camp and from the fans. Just how important is it for the fans to get behind us, even if we don't have the greatest of starts?
I honestly don't need to ask the fans anymore. The fans are brilliant, and they want to support the team. They just want to see us win. We are endeavouring to do that. But it is really important that we stick together, because it's not going to be plain sailing. It's never a straight line. I say that all the time. And it is really important that everybody sticks together and understands what we're trying to do. But we'll give everything we possibly can, and that's all you can do.